Breaking news popped again. Jurickson Profar is facing a 162-game suspension after testing positive for a performance-enhancing drug for the second time. Remember, he missed half of last year when he was popped. Then he came back late last year. Braves didn't make the playoffs, but he wouldn't have been eligible. This time around, that suspension doubles. 1 full season. I see facing from Passan and from some others. Maybe that is because he could try to appeal it. I haven't been able to read the articles yet because we are on the air. Kratz is shaking his head, so maybe I'm off there. Either way, I mean, he's been caught multiple times, so I think it's a done deal. Am I off on anything there?
Unless they changed how the process works. You test positive, they test your second sample, it becomes a positive test. You get notified, the team does not get notified. You have an appeals process. That appeals process, unless you as the player let it out in the public, tell somebody to write about it, Ryan Braun, then you can then go through the appeals process. It usually takes anywhere from 15 to 30 days. And once that appeal comes back, they say, nope, it's upheld. Then that's when it goes out to it's announced to the Players Association, to Major League Baseball, the team, and then obviously it gets released to the public. So I don't know how, if he has an appeals process that's pending, then it's his camp that let it out.
Which could be the case.
Ridiculous.
But
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Sorry. It's ridiculous. Sorry. And last year, remember, everyone's like, oh, he made a mistake. He didn't know what he put in his body. What happened this time? And I love Profar. I played with Profar when he first came up, but you can't have this happen. I'm sorry. Like, no matter what there's no excuse at this point. If you don't give me the excuse also of, oh, sometimes their trainers give them stuff and they just trust the trainer. If you've already been popped once, you damn sure better not trust your trainer again. Like, what are we doing? This is just now this just becomes blatant cheating, right? This is just blatant. I can outclass the system. I'm breaking the rules. I know what I'm doing. You missed the whole year. You cost yourself a bunch of money. I'm sorry. This is awful. This is just awful.
Time for the Braves to sign a starter, by the way. So he popped off on the field. Kratz had the famous quote about talking about his exit velocity spiking this late in his career and saying it was fishy. So he signed a 3-year, $42 million deal with Atlanta. Last year, the money was $12 million. That was cut in half, so it was $6 million. I'm talking about Atlanta as a team that is dumbly profitable, but they didn't spend on starting pitching like you thought they would this offseason, and they're down 2 starters. Now you're again looking like, hey, what's the plan here? They will probably save another $15 million on Profar, who, by the way, was not thrilled about looking at a lot of DH time this coming season. That's not going to be a thing now. So wipe him off, right? I think they'll be fine on the offensive void, but it's a team now that AJ hasn't had to withstand a lot of the contract for Profar. Again, I'm not saying it was a money thing for the Braves this offseason because they are flowing in cash. Ken Rosenthal has mentioned this multiple times on Fair Territory, how they don't want to give up a pitching spot like Bryce Elder or Joey Wentz. They could be waiting, and you don't like to say this, but maybe somebody on the roster gets hurt and then they're able to IL that person and then they have a spot open and they can sign someone like Zack Littell or Lucas Giolito. It seems like such a slam dunk for this team to go after another starter.
Yes, but we'll see. Agreed. We'll see. Giolito, Littell, those are probably the 2 biggest names out there. I mean, it would make total sense. And now they have, 14 or 15 million off the books, so here's your chance, Atlanta.
I think they were going to make a move no matter what anyway. I really think they're going to make that final push at the end of spring training for somebody, or maybe partway through spring training, but we're getting towards the end here.
Right. That was my point. So they do have a void now. I mean, we'll see who the DH is going to be, I guess, for the team. It's not, they could trade for a bat. Maybe they
Sean
trade
Murphy.
for
Drake Baldwin.
What? Oh, true. Right. You can fit one of those guys in to get more DH time. That's a good point. Very good point. Valid. Although Murphy's not going to begin the year healthy. So at least to start the year. Yeah. At some point you can mix those guys in. That's fair.